Good evening, Facebook. What's going on? Hope everybody's doing okay today. We are live on our weekly live video, and this is the second part of this week, how to thrive in difficult situations. I hope all is doing well. If you join on, let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're with me. Don't be afraid to throw anything in the comments. Would love to engage with you guys. Would love to get to a point where we can have this conversation, where we can talk about what's going on in life, kind of ask some questions, things like that. You know, I want to make sure that you understand that I do this to add value. I do this because I want to be practical. If you're joining with me, please go ahead in the comments and let me know you're here. I'm just going to go ahead and invite some friends to watch because I believe that we've got some good stuff to share. And I am all ready to roll. Just give another second or two. If you're here watching, please, again, hit them in the comments. Let me know. This is a Facebook Live. Much appreciated you guys hanging out with me. The first part of this was thriving in difficult relationships. If you haven't watched it, it was done on Monday night. It will be put up on the YouTube channel this week. And it's going. The first thing that we talked about was simply don't internalize what you're going through. Don't internalize where you're in. Don't internalize your relationships, because if you internalize it, what happens is you pull it into yourself and you pull it responsibility on yours, and their issues was never your responsibility. So one of the things to thrive is to not take or not internalize their issues or their responsibility for that. That happened on Monday. If you want the full replay, hit it up in the replay land from Monday. Again, it's going to be on the YouTube channel. Let me just open up and say, hey, my name is Jim. For you guys who don't know me on my feeds, we're just getting a chance to meet. I am a coach. I have pastoral experience for the last 15 some years, in one aspect of ministry or another. I've been married for almost, about 15 years as well, maybe 16, and we've been together 18 years coming up. And there's been a lot of challenges, both in my personal life, in my married life. As you know, life comes on and there's challenges. So I got a background in things, and I want to share my expertise and share my thoughts and share my heart with you to say, hey, here's some tips, tricks, and practical steps that you can take and put in your life right now. And when we get off, you can say, okay, I can do that. That's the type of person I want to do. That's the type of person I am. So these are the things that I want to be able to give to you. So here's the deal, guys. So like I was saying, let's just recap from week one, and then I'm going to go ahead and give you the week two, and I'm not going to take a lot of your time. But as you like this, hit some comments, hit some likes, hit the share button. Would much appreciate it. Thank you so much. Here is the recap again. From week one, Monday, remember, don't internalize their issues. Because remember, we're trying to thrive in difficult situations and difficult relationships. So if you internalize it, you begin to drag yourself down and you stop thriving, and then you move into survival mode. That's not where you want to be. You want to be in a mode to where you're thriving. Now, isn't that something that you really want to do in life? You want to know that, man, I killed it. I was on top of the world. I won that day. That's what you want in life. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of the survival mentality, which says I'm just getting up just to make it through the day, just to go back to sleep and do it all over again tomorrow. No, I want to kick the day in the teeth and say, it is the day that I won today. Wherever your faith is, mine is in Jesus. I know He pushes me through the day. Wherever you are, we'd love to have those conversations as well. The thing is, guys, I want to thrive, and I want you to say that to yourself. Throw it in the comments if you want to say it out loud to the public. I want to thrive. So if you want to thrive in your relationships, if you want to thrive in difficult situations, the first thing you got to know was you can't internalize it. The second thing, this is the crux of where we're going for tonight, is you have to have a proper perspective. You have to have a proper perspective of what's going on in the relationship, what's going on in your life. Because without a proper perspective, you will live in a dark cloud that covers your eyes, that covers your thoughts, that gives you that fog, that brings you down. Because I've always heard it that the difference between those who do good and those who do great are the perspectives that they have. In any relationship, it's about the perspective that you have. And for you guys who may not understand perspective, let me hit you up with it. It's how you see a thing. Okay, so I've had conversations over the week, and there's been people who have, their relationships have drug and alcohol involved. There's relationships that have mental illness involved. There's relationships where this person is just like a real jerk. Now, let me take a pause. I gave this public service announcement earlier in the week. Want to do it again. If you have just a real nightmare relationship where there's domestic violence or there's abuse in it in any of its forms, you need to get help. That's just the end of the story. Get help. Get in there and get all the help that you need, because guess what, guys? You cannot stay in a situation where there's abuse or domestic violence. It is not healthy, and it will end in some serious problems. But if you're not at that part, so let's focus on the people who are not at the domestic violence part, who are not in the abuse part, but have very difficult situations that are like, man, I want to thrive. I want this relationship to be all I can be. But the dude or the lady comes home drunk every night. How do I deal with that? Or maybe the drug use, or something in lines of they've got something deep inside of them and it just keeps coming out. Or maybe your relationship has that mental illness piece in it. How do I thrive in those particular situations? And the answer is the one thing that you can do, and this can be applied in relationships and it can be applied in life. It's about proper perspective. Because proper perspective brings you to a place to you understand the situation and you can figure out from there what to do. And what do I mean by that? Okay, long time ago there was a guy who taught me something. I used to go around and I'm like, man, I am so this. I'm so tired. I'm so beat up. And and at the time I kind of argued with him a little bit. He said, stop saying I am whatever. And I said, why? He says, because what you're doing is you're taking on yourself and you're thinking your identity is that thing. He said, shift your words a little bit. Understand it in a different perspective. He says, you are not tired, you feel tired. You are not beaten, you feel beaten. He said, and I said, man, that's just semantics. That's just a play on words. And then after years of just really kind of ruminating with that, I really understand the truth. Guess what, guys? Here, and this is something I'd love to continue conversation on. People who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, that is not who they are. We may call them alcoholics or drug addicts. We may call them that, but there's still that man you married. There's still that woman you married. There's still that person underneath all of that challenge, all of that junk. They're still underneath of it somewhere, but the challenge has a hold on them. Maybe you're somebody who has that mental illness piece. That mental illness does not define that person. That thing is what's controlling that person, but that beauty of who they are is still there. That beautiful mind, that beautiful thoughts, the creativity is all there. It's just the challenge may be so strong and the grip so hard. So what does proper perspective do? Well, proper perspective does this for me. I can see the beauty, but I can deal with the challenge. And I can thrive in the relationship because I understand that the challenge, I don't have to take personal responsibility for the challenge because that's not my fault. That's the challenge, and I can work on drawing the beauty out. So there's a great perspective that you need to gain in order to thrive in your situations. And I don't know where you are with that, and I'd love to have that conversation. But understand that proper perspective will bring a change in yourself and a change in how you view it. And once you change how you view it, you can actually change how you look at it, meaning thriving versus surviving. Now, you're going to have a couple blockers. You're going to have the pain that you feel, and you're going to have the pain that you carry. These are two blockers that you have, guys. And in these blockers, what that is the pain that you carry is what you brought to the relationship. So maybe your pain, again, this is perspective, maybe your pain is the one that's triggering some of the issues. But again, don't take personal responsibility. If they were an alcoholic before you didn't cause that to go deeper. It was there. You see what I'm saying? But you carry pain. So you've got to deal with your own pain, and then there's the pain you receive. And these are blockers to thriving. Why? Because it adds to the pain I have. And if it adds to the pain I have, then I have a struggle thriving. So I've got to not internalize that, and then I've got to deal with my own stuff. So what practical steps? And I think I'm going to do a couple more lives on just these practical steps, because it's very hard, and the two words I'm about to give you are thrown around all the time, but they're the most things I see people struggling with. It's forgiveness and setting proper boundaries. Forgiveness and setting proper boundaries. Listen, if you were in a tough or difficult relationship that you don't want to walk away from and you want to try to make work, then you're going to have proper boundaries and forgiveness, and that is going to have to be the crux of your living existence as you push forward towards health. Meaning constant forgiveness as they say something, they're in the grips of their challenge, they're in the grips of their illness, they say things to you. Constant forgiveness. Well, what if they don't forgive me? It doesn't matter what they do to you. It matters how you respond, not how you react. We all want to react. We all want to punch people in the throat when we get upset. But the deal is how you respond determines how mature you are. So therefore, if I respond correctly, I've got to walk in forgiveness always. So you got to let it go. And I define forgiveness as this: letting someone go from the debt you think they owe you. And most of that is we're so offended that we just want an apology. But guys, sometimes you're never going to get that apology. And that's okay. You just got to understand, I forgive you regardless of that apology if I ever get one. Because I'm going to walk in forgiveness, because I don't want to be held hostage by someone else's emotions. So I forgive. So if I'm going to have proper perspective, I got to walk in forgiveness, because what forgiveness does is it takes away boundary number one. And boundary number one is where the pain that they give you or inflict on you. Boundaries are going to also help with that. Like when you're in the midst of a very heated discussion, or this individual who you're in a tough relationship and this person's coming at you, a boundary is simply saying, hey, stop right there, conversation over, you can't talk to me like that. That is a strong boundary. They're going to rage, they're going to be angry, but the truth of the matter is they can't talk to you because they treated you like junk, condescended you, whatever. They don't have the right to talk. When they calm down, when they're in their right mind, or when they're sober, then they can have the right to talk it out. Let's talk then. But if they're not in the right mind, they're not sober, and they're not looking after you emotionally, then you could say, hey, that's a boundary. We need to stop right now. Because what that does is that protects the pain that you have. Because as you forgive yourself, which gets rid of the pain that you have proper boundaries to sit there and say, hey, I'm going to leave you here so I don't agitate my own pain and go back at you, and I'm going to forgive you so that the pain that you give me doesn't stick, and then I'm going to forgive me so that I can release the pain. And I hope you guys are following that. I know that was a lot. That's like real meaty stuff right there. But here's the deal, guys. If you are in these situations, I want to continue these conversations. If you're just tuning in, catch me in replay land. Please hit the share button. That would do wonders for me, because I love training. I love giving value to people, and I want as many people to hear what I have to say, not for simply because I'm saying it, but because I believe in the stuff that I'm teaching. Hey, Joy, good to see you. You're going to have to catch the replay on some of this because we're just getting through this. But here's the deal. So this week I've thrown two principles or two tips at you and some practical steps on that. The first principle was don't internalize. Go back and watch it. Second one tonight was have a proper perspective, because that's going to get you through. Okay. Most people ask me when I go in, because my wife and I are pretty open, and I'll leave this with you now, and then I'm going to give you an offer on something. People ask me, a lot of people ask me, how do you do it? How have you and your wife stayed together for so long when there is mental illness in the relationship, when I'm jacked up too? Like, I have my own issues. So don't get me wrong. I've got stuff, and we can have a whole live podcast or whatever on my own junk too. But the one question I get is, how do you do it so long? Well, the first one is I don't internalize the issues. The second one is I have a proper perspective, because these issues that I deal with, these issues in me, these issues in my relationship, they're not the people it's not the person I married. The person I married is gorgeous. She's beautiful. She has talent. She loves people. She's gripped in an illness. She's not defined by an illness. My own self, my limiting beliefs don't define me. What they do is they hold me back from the true definition of myself. So I'm trying to remove my own limiting beliefs. I'm trying to get through my own junk as we try to work through the illness with her. So it can create quite difficulties. But the deal is I follow these same steps. I'm walking in forgiveness because I'm not internalizing and I have a proper perspective. The days I lose perspective are the days I want to go fighting. So have those things, guys. Have those things. If you have any comments, please shoot them down. I'd love to have these banters, these conversations. Ask any question. I'm here. I'm open. Here's what I was going to offer you guys. I do have a group I just started where we're going to have many conversations like this. It's called The Gathering. I'll throw it in the conversation. This is your open invite into this group. It's just getting started. We really want to build a great community, and so that we can offer more trainings, more one-on-ones, more lives, things like that, because I want to add value. I want to give you everything I can give you so that you can thrive in this life. Okay, guys? So again, I'll throw it in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to throw it in the comments for you guys too. Love to have you on there. Also, look forward to some more stuff. If there's a topic you want me to cover, hit me up down in those comments down there. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. If this is live for some of you guys right now, so glad you're with me. Hit the replay land. Much love to you guys. Talk to you soon.